is followed here. Fine. Now we are going to go to the next step. Now at the destination, what is going to get? I am going to get the 2 copies of the signal. So for that, I just evaluate the instantaneous SNR. Okay, let me evaluate the instantaneous SNRs. Instantaneous SNR. Okay, instantaneous SNR, gamma ST. This is gamma, this is not the R, this is gamma. So the instantaneous SNR, gamma ST is equal to ES by N naught mod of HST square. Okay. What is this? Is the ES is a energy per symbol. Suppose I am just transferring a BPSK symbol. The energy per symbol is this. N naught is a noise variance, average noise variance. Average noise variance. And this one is, see what is this H and what of H is? This is this mod of H square. Okay, let me tell you some background theory about this. The math behind this is the H. The H is basically a complex Gaussian with a zero mean, some finite variance. Say omega is a variance. If whatever subscript I'll put here also I can put the same subscript. Generally we'll write it as a H. H is basically a complex normal. Okay. If it is complex normal, zero mean variance is suppose H, then the mod of H is going to be, suppose if it is a complex normal, let me write down like this. H is equal to suppose x plus jy, where x and y are normally distributed random variables. X and y are normally distributed random variable with some variance. With some variance. X and y are normally distributed with some variance. Okay. Now this j is a complex operator. J is a complex operator. Yeah. So this H is naturally, it is a complex Gaussian. The H is basically like this. It is a complex Gaussian. Okay. So the H is this H. We'll write. So the mod of H is going to be x square. Mod of H is going to be square root of x square plus y square. Right. This is a mod of H. This mod of H, if you look at this distribution, this mod of H is the Rayleigh distribution. And this mod of H represent the amplitude information of the channel. Okay. Now, if I take a square root, sorry, if I take a square, mod of H square, what will happen? X square plus y square. So this is, if you look at this distribution jointly, okay, then it is a, this is the exponential distribution. Exponential distribution. This exponential distribution represents the power. Amplitude square is basically the power, right? So the exponential distribution represents the power. So the instantaneous SNR is basically a signal power to the noise power, right? So this is a signal and this is a noise, signal power to the noise power with the channel gain we are just taking. So this is the mod of h square. So this mod of h square is basically exponential distributed random variable. That means this ES is a constant, N naught is a constant term, whereas this is a random variable. So this portion is a random variable, exponentially distributed random variable. So the gammas are exponentially distributed random variables. Fine. Now what I get here is the next step, whatever gamma I just take in the destination part. If you look at the picture, again we'll write down this is a source, this is a relay, and this is a destination. If I take, okay, this is all time frame 1, I'll get here gamma ST, here gamma RT. Here we will get gamma SR also. If you want, we can write. But here in the destination, I'll get the two signal. One is directly from the source, another one is via the relay. So now I am getting two copies of the same signal. So in the diversity effect is created and two copies of the same signal. Now I am trying to apply a conventional diversity combining technique. One of the there are three techniques available: maximum ratio combining, equal gain combining, and selection combining. So let us choose selection combining for simplicity. What is the advantage of selection combining is it's very simple receiver structure, right? Just I need to find it out among the two SNR, which is a maximum SNR. So what is a maximum SNR? Gamma ST or gamma RD. If I find it out which is the maximum SNR, that link only I'll just choose for that symbol. Okay, then I'll be transmitting thousands of symbols and each symbol I have to take and finally find the average that will give the average symbol error probability. Okay, so now this is the basic system model of an cooperative society, sorry, cooperative diversity. So what is the problem statement I'll write down. So what I am planning to do is in the MATLAB, the problem statement is this is a system I know. Now I am going to write down this to simulate. To simulate the symbol error probability. In short, I write SCP to simulate the symbol error probability of the how many user, only single user. Therefore, single relay. If it is multiple relay, we can write multiple relay. That you can take it as a homework. It is a single relay based cooperative diversity system. Under the or in the presence of okay, single relay based cooperative diversity system with the decoded forward relaying. This is important because the AF and DF completely different. It will give completely different results. Therefore, with the decode and forward relaying, in the presence of Rayleigh fading. Again, when you change the fading statistics, many things will change. The presence of Rayleigh change. The entire coding will change. Okay, so we have written the problem statement to simulate the simple error probability, okay, of the single relay based cooperative diversity system with the decode and forward relay in the presence of Rayleigh fading. So this is a problem statement is given to us and the system is already given to us. Now my job is to write a MATLAB code completely to find out the simple error probability of this system. So this is a today's task. Okay, is this so far whatever I said, is it clear? Any questions?
Yeah. So participants, if you have any questions up to this point, you can raise your hand. I will enable you to interact with the speaker. Yeah, just a minute. Okay. Yeah. Fine then. Okay, sir. We will continue. Yeah.
Okay, then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the MATLAB code for whatever I explained. So I'm going to take 2 minutes for some of the people who joined late. I'll just take 2 minutes again to recollect it so that we are going to write the MATLAB code for this. So the today's topic is a cooperative diversity. The cooperative diversity system will have a three important thing. One is the source, another one is the destination. One is the source, another one is the 1 minute. The cooperative diversity system, we are going to have the source. This is a source. Then we have the destination. The source is want to transmit the data, intend to transmit the data to the destination. But because of the link may be poor or some because of some other conditions, the link may be available, may not be available. Therefore, we want to have an alternate path. Like we want to create a diversity effect. For that, I just introduce a relay. So the source is at the one end of the room or one end of the hall, and the destination is at the another end of the hall. Okay, so therefore the you can assume like that. It is a long hall. Okay, and the source is available at the one end or the destination is available at the another end. So between the source and destination, we have the relay. So the relay job is to receive the source data and forward it to the destination. The relay follows a protocol called decode and forward protocol. In short, we call it as a DF. Decode and forward protocol is basically a digital protocol where we detect and forward the data to the destination. Fine. Now, how does the system model work is the source time period, the time period for which it is allocated to the source. The source is going to divide its time period. Okay, first two equal offs. The first off, it is going to transmit the data. Yes, that BPSK symbol, it is going to transmit it. Yes. And in the second off, it is going to be silent. So in the first off, what it is going to do is, it is going to transmit the data to the destination. So the corresponding equation is given here. So the corresponding equation is, this is a destination. So this is a complex baseband received at the destination. Now these are the two symbols. I'm going to generate it and I'm going to apply it in this equation to get the received baseband signal. We'll do now. And then simultaneously, since it is broadcasted, the relay also receives the signals. So this is the relay, this is the source symbol, yes. Okay. In the second time phase 2, the source is silent. The relay is going to forward the source data to the destination. So the destination receives a signal, whereas the relay forwards the detected symbol, what it has detected during the time phase 1. That is what it is going to transmit it to the destination. So the destination receives this. So now the destination receives two copies of the signal. Now which one to choose? So we go based on the instantaneous SNR. The instantaneous SNR is explained here. It is gamma ES by N naught mod of H square. So ES is a energy per symbol, N naught is the average noise variance because of the additive white Gaussian noise. And this is the mod of H square is the channel fading gain. So this is my channel fading gain. This mod of X square is the channel fading gain. Fine. And these are all the some math beyond this. And now once we got this instantaneous SNR, what I'm going to do is I got two copies. One is directly from the source, another one is from the via the relay. Now which one is the best? I'm going to choose that link and I'm going to decode that symbol. Okay, so therefore this method is called selection combining. This is a conventional selection combining only I applied. So among the two SNR, whichever is the maximum, I'll be just choosing that particular link and decode that symbol which is coming in that link. Okay, that is how I just decode the symbols. So how to find the symbol error probability? Okay, whatever symbols we received, what was the performance of the system, whether the system is performing better or not, that we find it out through a performance metric called symbol error probability. The SEP is the symbol error probability, which is a performance metric. I'm going to simulate this system in the MATLAB and find it out what is the performance of this system. Now, okay, this is my MATLAB. I'm going to take this MATLAB thing. So, is my MATLAB screen is visible?
Yes, now it is visible. Yes, sir.
Okay. So close all. Now I just start with the simple commands. So I'm going to the MATLAB codes always it can be written in different styles. Very simple also you can write it, but I'm going to write down step by step so that everyone in the audience can understand. So I just define the SNR. SNR I'm going to operate it. So let me operate it say 0 to increment of 5 dB, say up to 30. Okay. Then number of symbols, n I consider as a number of symbols. Let us say 10,000 is a number of symbols. Is the number of symbols. Fine. Now I am going to first start with the symbol generation, BPSK symbol generation, BPSK generation. So how do we generate? I want a random generation of the symbols. Therefore, let me put in a very simpler way 1 to n. I just produce a rand n. The rand n is greater than the rand is the number which produces a arbitrary number between 0 to 1. Okay, some decimal will produce. So if it is greater than 0.5, then I consider it as I just equivalent to this. Not to produce randomness, I just use this random. This is equivalent to. So the symbol I was considering plus square root of 2 years and minus square root of 2 years. Therefore, let me consider ES is equal to 1. So here I'll just put SQRT square root equal to 1. Square root 2 years. Maybe here I have to define this. ES is equal to 1. Okay, this is energy per symbol. This is the energy percentage. Else, this is going to be minus square root of 2s. So I'm going to randomly generate plus and minus square root of 2s. Yes. So we got plus and minus square root of 2s randomly. Now, once we got 10,000 BPSK symbols, I'm going to transmit it one after another. So the ideology here is symbol by symbol transmission, but practically we will be transmitting like a packets, right? In the communication, we'll transmit packets. But for the sake of analysis, we consider certain assumption. The transmission is baseband, and we go by symbol transmission. That is why when I am writing the MATLAB code, we just write it symbol by symbol transmission. Now let us start another loop for SNR. So let us call this as a SNR loop because I am going to vary the SNR. To what extent? To the length of SNR dB. So that means I am going to take each SNR, I am going to energize a symbol and transmit it. This SNR dB is in logarithmic scale. It is in compressor format because it is dB, 0 dB, 5 dB, 10 dB, like that, up to 30 dB. So I want to convert this logarithmic to the linear. So what I'm doing is I am converting log to the linear values. It's a simple one-liner only. Just SNR. I'm just taking anti-log of that. SNR is equal to 10 to the power of first value. I am going to consider SNR dB. In that, the first value I want to consider, therefore SNR loop. So SNR loop is going to take the first value divided by S. So this 10 to the power of SNR dB, this 10 to the power is because of the anti-log. And this SNR dB divided by 10, this 10 is because of the 10 log base 10, this SNR in watts. When you take anti-log, what will happen? We divide first SNR dB divided by 10. After that, we will take anti-log. That is how we get this equation. Okay, once we get this SNR, yeah, so SNR also, whatever we did, it is coming. Now the next value is I am to generate the source side generation. So we'll write it as a source side just for our thing. What we develop, the first thing is we write a channel. So the channel is like HST is equal to, yes, the channel I just considered as a complex Gaussian. Here one thing we need to do. What I'm going to do is that I'll just first explain, then I'll come back to the program. Otherwise, if I directly do, I hope my screen is visible. So what I want to write here is okay. So H divided by. So what I want to write is H I consider as a complex normal. H I want to consider as like complex normal. Just 1 minute. H is distributed as a complex normal with zero mean variance 1. Like that I want to assume. Okay, to assume that as a zero mean variance 1, how do I write in MATLAB code is H is equal to 1 divided by square root of 2. 1 divided by square root of 2, if I write what will happen, I'll just show you. This, I'll just write it as a normally distributed random variable with zero mean variance 1 plus j again normally distributed random variable with zero mean variance 1. Like that we write in MATLAB. So this is, we replace this by a inbuilt function called rand_n. So rand_n is basically a Gaussian normally distributed random variable with zero mean variance 1. Now how do I set the variance is equal to this entire variance? How do I set is, now this I got it. No? Now what is going to come is normally distributed, this will go inside 0 and off. Okay, plus j normally distributed with 0, and this will, when it is going inside, it will square. Okay, for mean it doesn't square, whereas for variance it will square. So this is like 1 by 2. So this resultant is going to be a complex normal with 0 mean, variance is going to be 1. Okay, that is how this 1 divided by square root of 2 will set it for the case of H. Now what is this a variance? This is, what is this? This is the mod of H square, right? What is mod of H square? This is, maybe this I'll just write down first. So what is this? This part is the, for H, this part is a mean and this part is a variance. So the variance of the H is this. Okay. Now let us, what is the variance I need to set it for the noise, that we will see now. For H I set a variance 0 mean and variance is equal to 1. Now for here noise variance, how do I set? Mod of H square, right? So I'm just taking what is the average SNR. This is an instantaneous SNR. Instantaneous SNR. But my loop is running on the average SNR. My loop, what I have taken is the average SNR. Okay, from the average SNR, how do we get the instantaneous SNR now? So averaging is, gamma is a exponentially distributed random variable. I already told you. So I'm just taking expectation of the gamma. Okay, expectation of the gamma. Expectation of the gamma, what happened? So expectation of a constant is a constant, therefore ES by N naught will come out. Okay, and expectation of a mod of a square. Okay, so this is what we get it. So what is this? This expectation of gamma is the average SNR. This is the average SNR. So therefore the average SNR which we are running in the loop is equal to ES is 1, N naught is the average noise variance. We need to set it average noise variance, and expectation of H. This is, what is this? This part now I have to write it separately. What is this? This is, I am going to write down here. What is variance? Variance definition is expectation of H minus mu whole square. This is a definition of the variance, right? What is happened when mean is equal to 0 in this case, because mean is equal to 0. So variance is equal to expectation of H square is the variance. This is the variance. What is the variance of this H? Variance of H is equal to 1. Therefore, this becomes 1. Therefore, the average SNR, how to set the noise variance? Now it has come from here. So this portion becomes 1. Now the N naught is the noise variance. N naught is the noise variance. The noise variance is equal to 1 divided by average SNR. Okay, this portion is, this is of our interest. Now I am going to write down for n naught, how to write n naught. For n naught is equal to, again I have to put 1 divided by square root of no average SNR. So this is going to come average SNR. Here again we put normally distributed 0, 1 plus, that is we'll just write in general we can write as a random j into normally distributed with 0, 1. Now if I take it inside, what will happen? So it will become 0, comma this square root will vanish, 1 divided by average SNR. So j of normally distributed with 0, 1 divided by average SNR. Sorry. 1 divided by average SNR, 1 divided by average SNR. So this is basically a complex normal with 0, this plus this 2 divided by average SNR. 2 divided by average SNR, we can rewrite it as a complex normal with 0, 2 n naught. I write it as a 2 n naught, right? So this side, it's not n naught, this is a small n. So n is the additive wide Gaussian noise. Additive wide Gaussian noise. It's a random variable. It is a complex. It is a basically it is a complex Gaussian random variable, right? It is a complex Gaussian random variable with a 0 mean 2 n naught is a variance. This 2 n naught only I am going to set as a variance of this. Is it clear? Whatever I did, how do I set the variance?
Any
I'll
questions
just,
from the participants? Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Fine.
I'll just again tell you one more time. So this H, okay, I'll just spend 2 minutes. H is basically a complex normal with a 0 mean variance 1. Like that I set. Why I am setting? So that, see, we have two parameters. One is H, another one is N. One of the parameter we need to set so that the other parameter can be taken from the averages now. So H is complex normal with 0 mean variance 1. Now what I do is, how do I set this is complex normal with 0 mean variance 1? That is possible only if I multiply this variance. So complex, first thing I have to get the complex. For that I have to write normally distributed with 0, variance 1. Why I use this writing is because the random is an inbuilt function in MATLAB. The random produces normally distributed random variable with 0 mean variance 1. Therefore, I use this normally distributed plus j is a complex operator plus into this normally distributed random variable. When I take this inside, what will happen? When it is going inside, it is going to get multiplied with 0. The resultant is going to be 0. Then when it is going for the variance, it will get squared. So this off, square root of 2 becomes off. And similarly, this side also becomes off. When I combine these two things, I'll get a complex normal with 0 mean variance is equal to 1. So this variance is equal to 1. How do I write? The variance is 1 is because if you look at it, the variance is equal to expectation of, this is second, basically the second order statistics. So basically variance is equal to expectation of h minus mu whole square. This is a variance definition. Since the mean is equal to 0, the mod of h square is the variance. So that is equal to 1. Okay, that means the second moment is equal to variance when mean is equal to 0. That is what we say. Now instantaneous SNR, average SNR, I'm just going to correlate it. Gamma is instantaneous SNR ES by n naught mod of h square. So the average SNR I'm finding out because average SNR is the one which I'm using in the programming. So in the average SNR is equal to expectation. This operator is a expectation. Expectation means averaging. So this is expectation of gamma. So expectation of a constant is a constant, therefore ES by N naught came out. So ES by mod of H square, this is nothing but simply 1, which is proved from here, and the average SNR is equal to 1 divided by N naught. N naught is the noise variance. So N naught is equal to 1 divided by average SNR. Now how to set the variance for the additive white Gaussian noise? N is a random variable. For that I have to set the variance. N is equal to, if I set it by average S0 square root, if I put it in the similar path, it will come. The resultant, the variance of the N is going to be 2N0 is the variance of the additive white Gaussian noise N. So this is what I set. So my parameters, I have two parameters. One is H, another one is a N. H, in short, if I say H is distributed complex Gaussian with 0 mean variance 1. In my program, noise is complex Gaussian, 0 mean 2A0 is a variance. So this is what I do it in my program. Now let us go back to my MATLAB and set all these things. Whatever we discussed so far, I'm going to set H value. Hereafter, it is going to be simple. HST is equal to 1 divided by square root of 2. Okay, fine. And this side is going to be rand n. I'm going to generate several things. Therefore, I put 1 comma n and plus j. J is a complex operator. Multiply by again rand n comma n. Let us see whether what is coming. Some complex number should come. Yes. So we get the complex numbers. Okay. Now another term is the noise side. I have to develop NST is equal to same thing, but only this average noise variance is going to vary. Therefore, I'll just copy paste this. Copy paste this, but this is going to change. What is going to change is average SNR in the linear form is 1 divided by square root of 2. So now we got this n side also. Let us check. Okay. Fine. So what we got is n. Yes. Now I have to generate R, the received baseband signal. So this is the channel gain. Maybe this is complex channel gains. And this side is the AWGN. AWGN additive white Gaussian
Sir,
noise.
I think there is a question from participant. Can you enable?
Yes, yes.
So that let them clarify as and when they get it. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Amrita, please go on.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, Amrita, you can unmute and speak now.
Yes, Amrita.
I think okay, I think she may have some network problem. So it is enabled. Let her interrupt when she can. You, sir, please continue.
Yes, yes. Okay, what we are using? We are using simple. Okay, now what we did is the complex baseband received signal. So RST is equal to HST into symbol which we transmitted plus the noise. Okay, if you see the command prompt, you can see a complex value number. Okay, for example, the last value is minus 0.5403 minus this I will not be available. Okay, but this is, yeah, I is available at the end. Okay, so the MATLAB prints like this, but minus I into 0.6129. So basically, this is a complex number. We got it. Now again, now the deduction side I have to go. So before going to the deduction side, maybe in the transmitter side, I'll just create another set of expressions for the relay also. Okay, the relay expressions is going to be just same as that of the source expression, the relay side. Yes, audience, if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, if any questions, yeah. Yeah, Amrita, now you can unmute.
Okay, sorry, I was not able to unmute myself. I think so. My service was disabled at that time. I just wanted to ask a question. How is RAND different from RAND-N?
Yeah, RAND is basically, RAND is not a random variable. So this RAND, whatever I type in the command prompt, it is not a random variable. It is going to randomly produce, okay, a number between 0 to 1. Okay, so that is what, for example, if you type help rand, okay, it will produce a number between 0 to 1. Maybe I'll just type and show it to you after this. No, 1. If I type, this is rand. So if you look at it, rand 0.3, it is showing 0.36. Now next time it is 0.72. If I press next time, it is going to give 0.84. So that means it is going to randomly produce a number between 0 to 1. This is a rand. Okay, whereas rand n is basically a random variable, complex Gaussian random, complex norm, not complex, it is a normal random variable. Okay, or n is basically a normal random variable with 0 mean and variance 1. That is the difference. So we can see in the help, MATLAB help, if we type it. No, rand n is basically a normally distributed random variable. Okay, so this is going to, this normally distributed random variable is usually will have a 0 mean and variance 1. Okay, that is what, and variance and mean can be set when we are setting. We can set the variance and mean, but basically by default it will have a 0 mean and variance is equal to 1. That is the difference between rand and rand n. Is that clear, Amrita?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
Amrita,
you.
is it fine? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now let us move on to this relay side, another set of equation, propagation equation. Since it is going to be the same set, I am going to copy paste and I'm going to change the variables alone. H, it is not destination, it is going to be this, and it is going to be this random variable, and it is going to be an RSR. The channel is going to be HSR, and the noise is going to be NSR. Fine. This is what we are going to get it for the relay case. The relay, another set of propagation equation, we got it. Okay. That means the destination as well as the relay received the source symbol. Yes. Now what I have to do is I have to do the deduction at the receiver. Okay. So what we do is a ML deduction. So the deduction process. The students who have studied deduction estimation may find it easy. Otherwise, the deduction. Okay. So deduction process, we need to do both at both the places. One is at the destination as well as at the receive. First to deduct, let us define a variable detect underscore st, because I'm going to detect the symbol which is coming from this. So that means, see, I transmitted yes, but what I received is or st. Okay, now I have to determine, or I have to detect what was transmitted. Okay, through the maximum likelihood detection process, what we do is I just find it out the real of the conjugate of HSC multiplied by RST. That means the received signal, see, the maximum, like quickly, I'll just take only 1 minute to explain this ML process. Yes, working. So I'll just draw you the constellation diagram. Here, this is a constellation diagram of the BPSK. So here there is one symbol plus square root of 2s. Another symbol is minus square root of 2s. This is plus. See, this is my yes. I just transmitted. This is also yes, and this is also yes. Both are, because it's yes is belongs to this constellation set. When we transmit it, we are because of the channel fading and additive white Gaussian noise, the yes becomes or. Okay, the yes becomes or yes is transformed to or. Yes is transformed to or. So the received signal or can be anywhere. The or can go here. This point it can fall, or or can fall here. Okay, or can fall here, or can fall here. Okay, but I need to find it out. What was the transmitter symbol? I do not know anything about what was transmitted. What I know is only I know received symbol. So for that, what do I do is I just calculate it. The just what would be the chances? What would be the likelihood? For that, there are many techniques. One of the technique is that Euclidean distance, right? Just we calculate the distance between this. Suppose this R is the transmitted symbol. We calculate this, and whichever is smaller, that distance we calculate. This distance is called Euclidean distance. We just calculate these two distances. Okay. So suppose if distance is shorter, whichever distance is shorter, we'll consider that was a transmitted symbol. Okay, this is Euclidean distance. Another thing, what we are going to do in the programming is we are not going to follow this. In the programming, I am going to do this. So since I am using BPSK only, because of that freedom, okay, in the program I fixed the modulation technique. Because of that freedom, I just have this. The received symbol R is a complex. The received symbol R is a complex, right? Complex means the symbol, suppose this is, it will have a two value. One is x comma y, right? The two things coordinates are available. Now I am going to find it out. What is the real of this? Now I am going to find it out. What is the real of this? The imaginary part, I am not bothered. What is this? This axis is called real axis, and this axis is called imaginary axis. Right? We know very well. So that this is a real axis. This x-axis is a real, and this is called imaginary axis. Anything which will have any coordinate which we'll choose. We have, suppose R is taking this value here, it will have both real value and imaginary value. But I am going to concern because my BPSK points lies on the real axis. I have the freedom to just take only consider the real alone. Imaginary value I don't want. So wherever the point is there, I'm just going to consider real of this. Okay, I'm just going to consider the real of this, and R is a complex, right? I'm going to multiply with the H so that I'll get the simple thing. So I'm going to take a real of this. I'm going to multiply R by H complicate. If you take R is equal to what? R is equal to, we can write S H plus N, right? We are going to multiply this by H conjugate. If you multiply H and H, it will become mod of H square, N and H. N and H, if you take N and H, we just assume that the noise and the channel gains are statistically independent. Okay, therefore, we can write the expectation of, we can write this as the expectation of N and expectation of H independently. Therefore, this, the mean of this is 0 and mean of this is also 0. Therefore, this part is vanishing. So only H S value will be getting. So therefore, I just take the real of R into H star. The real of R into H star, if it is greater than 0, that means the symbol, the R, the received symbol is this side. Okay, that means this implies the transmitter symbol was, or the detector symbol is equal to plus square root of 2s. Else, if it is lesser than, then it is called minus square root of 2s. So I'll just write both in one equation, or real of R H star zero. If it is greater than 0 means I'll just consider as a, this is plus square root of 2s. Otherwise, this is minus square root of 2s. So this is what I do it in the programming. ES is equal to 1. Therefore, it is whether it is the plus square root of plus 2 or plus square root of 2 or minus square root of 2. That's the matter. Okay. Now let us go to the program side. So that is what this ML direction I have written here. It is a conjugate of HST. I just deduct and keep it here. Later on, I will just check whether it is greater than 0 or lesser than 0. This is, we are just deducting, deducting or deduction at source, deduction at destination. This is again same thing. This is at the relay. RSR, SSR, reduction at relay. Okay. Now we can count the other things, errors and other things we can count. I is equal to each symbol, I just take it. There are different techniques, simple techniques also available, but let us write one after another so that explaining is easy. I just take each symbol deduction. If deduct underscore st of first symbol, ith symbol is greater than, that means it is going to follow on the positive side. Then the symbol cap cap 1 Wait, there is some internet problem. This screen is visible. Okay. Hope I am back. Yes, Pradap Shekhar. So square root of plus square root of 2. Okay, else if it is not there, then I have to put so what do I do? This is a BPSK process. So this is a BPSK deduction process. So I'll just write on here. It is a BPSK deduction. BPSK deduction ST means at destination. Now the same thing I have to do it for the relay case. Relay case also I have to find it out. So I'll just copy this. Detector symbol. So RSR. This is a BPSK deduction process at the relay. This is symbol cap 2 because we name it for the relay case. So let us put it as a cap 2. Okay, so this is we have done. Minus also we have put yes. So here itself.
Sir, just 1 minute. Pratap Shekhar would like to ask something.
Yes.
Yes, Pratap,
Yes.
please go ahead. Pratap Shekhar, you have any questions? Okay, okay, sir, continue. I have enabled him. He can interrupt if he want. Yeah.
Okay. Now what we did is we just transmitted FTR source symbols, and then whatever 10,000 symbols we generated, all the 10,000 symbols we sent it to the destination as well as in the relay, and the relay as well as in the destination we completely detected the symbol, we kept it ready. Now I have to do this at the relay to destination. Now maybe this part I'll just go back. Instead of source we write it as a source to destination. This will be the correct word. Source to destination. This is source to relay, and then is the relay to the destination. Relay to the destination. Yes. Now in the relay to the destination, again I have to create all that symbols, everything. So we can take it again from this similar equation, similar style only we have to generate. So we'll just take it. But when you are copying and pasting, you have to be careful. Sometimes if you don't change the symbols, it will just give the errors. So it is or relate to the destination, RRD, HRD, and RRD, HRD, and NRD. Here the very important thing is here we are not transmitting symbol. Here we are transmitting the symbol cap 2. Okay, this is a very important observation because you see here the detector symbol, the BPSK detection process at the relay, the detector symbols are symbol cap 2. This is what we detected. That is what we are going to forward it to the destination. That is why the symbol is this. This is an important observation. After that, the detection process. So the detection process. So the detection process. the deduction process. The deduction process at the destination again. So this is conjugate HRD and then RRT. So we deduct the symbol. After that, after deduction, we have to again regenerate this part. See, the main thing is once we understand the concept, the lot of similarities are there in the programming. So that is a easy part. So 1n, here we are going to do the deduction part or RRD, and this cap is going to be 3/3, and this is at the destination. Now everything is ready. Now we have to generate the instantaneous SNRs. So now this portion is an instantaneous SNR. So the instantaneous SNR, let us call it as a gamma underscore SC is equal to. So what is the ES? Instantaneous SNR is equal to ES by N naught. Okay, what is ES? ES is equal to 1. Okay, therefore it is fine. What is N naught? N naught is equal to 1 divided by average SNR. So therefore this average SNR will come in the numerator. So therefore I'll write SNR into this mod of S square, absolute of H underscore ST dot square. HSR and RRT HRT. Now we created all this. Okay, here what I said is maybe quickly I'll just write down this part if you require. So what we did here is, so here is gamma is equal to so this is gamma is equal to ES by N naught mod of H square, right? So that is what we write. ES is equal to N naught is equal to 1 divided by average SNR. So therefore we write gamma is equal to ES is equal to 1 divided by 1 divided by average SNR. Okay. So this is 1 divided by 1 average SNR into mod of S square. So that is what we write it as a 1 average SNR into average SNR into mod of H square. Okay, fine. Yeah, let us take this part. Once we got the instantaneous developed SNRs, then I have to apply the selection combining, error counter and selection combining. So selection combining and error and similar probability SCP calculation. We'll write it as a selection combining first. So next, Let us define some variables because I have to do this. Also, let us call it as a first SC is equal to 0 for error counting purpose. 0. Then what is other variable we can use? Direct link SN error also we can calculate. Error is equal to DAR, the direct link, source to destination link. Okay. So these are all the two things for error counting purposes. These two variables is for error counting. We'll write it is for error counting. After that, what we have is again we will run this loop. I is equal to 1 to n because here we have to go. First thing, if gamma st of that ith gamma st of ith greater than this, right, gamma st of rd relate to destination. If it is greater, okay, then my final detector symbol double, we'll call it as a double cap. So symbol DBL means double cap. So symbol double cap of I is equal to ST link is greater than the RD link. Therefore, that particular symbol cap will take it. So symbol cap, so ST link I have taken 1 of ith symbol. That one you are storing here. Else, suppose if it is not true, then I'll be storing the second one. So symbol double cap, what here? And now what we did is this gamma st means the source to destination link is having a more instantaneous SNR than the relative destination link. Therefore, I just consider that symbol was the best symbol. That link is the best link. Therefore, the detector symbol or the source destination link is named as a symbol cap 1 of that ith symbol. I just stored here. Suppose if it is not true, then I stored from the relay link. Symbol cap 2 is basically taken from the relay link. So that relay link, I just put it here. Okay, now this is my final symbol. I'll just calculate if this double symbol, double cap of this ith symbol, if it is equal to the originally transmitted symbol, I'm just calculating the error. If it is I, if it is equal, exactly same, that means whatever deduction I did is correct. That is the meaning. Then I just introduce error SC is equal to same. I'm not incrementing it. It is equal to same. Else, suppose if it is not equal, then I'm just going to increment it by 1. So I'm going to add one error has been added because it is not matching. Okay, like this. So this is what we did is for the cooperative link. This is for the cooperative link. That means based on selection combining. That is based on selection combining. For the links based on that I taken. Suppose the direct link source to destination link, what is the error? Direct link, that is source to destination link alone. If the source to destination link alone is there without this relay, then what would be the error? That the error also I want to count, because then only I'll be knowing which is the better. So that one is if detected one is symbol cap 1. That was a detected symbol there. Is whether it is equal to the symbol, original symbol transmitted of I is equal, then I'll call it as a this error. Already I defined error direct is equal to error underscore dir. Else it is not true. It's not matching, then there is a error. Else and I incrementing that is by 1. Okay, then it is end. Okay, now I just counted the error. Finally, the error SCP calculation. SCP calculation. So SCP calculation is SCP underscore selection combining path. That path is the SNR underscore, because each SNR I have to calculate. SNR underscore loop is error underscore SC divided by the total number of symbols transmitted, right? The number of symbol error divided by the total number of symbol transmitted. This is for the selection combining. Selection combining, cooperative selection combining, right? And this SCP underscore dir SNR underscore loop is equal to error underscore direct divided by n. This is for the direct link. Direct link, that is source to destination link alone. Yes, source to destination without relay. Then let us end this program. So now the program is over. Now we need to plot and check. Before that, let us run once whether any error is there. Yes, there is some barrels I used this. Let's check where it is. Okay, if else any for. Okay, here below.
There is an end below.
There is an end below. There is end. Okay, now it is correct. Symbol double cap. I think this double cap. What was oh, here I used the word cal typing. Of cap I used the word cal. Okay, now let us check. Index matrix dimensions S double cap I. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. I just missed to put the index. Okay, let us check. 1 again somewhere place, because of this copy pasting everywhere this error is coming. Okay. So this is one of the problem with the copying. When you typing the second time, generally we will find it out. Suppose first time when we are confident, then we will, when we copy paste, this kind of things will happen. But anyway, it is easy to correct. In some places I didn't close. This deduct and all I didn't close. That is why it is running. Let me check once the code quickly. Wherever it is required, let me close. There it is. Okay, fine. So let it run. Let us plot. So plot is x-axis is already in dB. Therefore, y-axis only I have to take logarithmic scale. So therefore, I just choose semilog y. So SNR already dB. I am just calculating SNR dB. And y side is, there are two things. One is SCP underscore direct. SCP underscore direct. So this one we will give some, put some star. Okay, and this side SNR underscore dB. So this side will put SCP underscore SC some circle or something. So what all this, that legend also will type. There are two things. One is the direct transmission. Transmission, no relay. Another one is with relay. So this is another one is a cooperative diversity. And X label, Y label, let us give. S label is the average SNR. Average SNR measured in dB. And Y label is the similar probability. So Y label is in the similar probability. So this is the thing. In my keyboard, this control break is not working. But yes, this is the end of this programming. Okay, so once this running is over, we can I'll just show run and show you. So meanwhile, I'll just want to tell you some more things. Okay, so what is the kind of inference we'll be getting? That is what here. So this y-axis is going to be similar probability, and the x-axis is going to be average SNR measured in dB. So what kind of curves is expected is, this is what we'll get one. This is one thing I'll get. Another thing is I'll get this. These are the two curves are expected. Okay, let us see whether this program, this control break is not working in my laptop. Key is not working. Okay, so this is what expected to come. So this is from the direct, this is from the cooperative. And this is from the direct. Direct means no relay. Because of the involvement of the relay, because of this cooperation, what do we get? That is a benefit. What is it? What do we get? What kind of benefit we get? So here we'll start from say 10 to the power of 0. This 10, maybe 10 to the power of minus 1, 10 to the power of minus 2, 10 to the power of minus 3, so on. Okay. And here it can be from 5 dB, 10 dB, 15, 20, 25, like this. Okay, suppose I just draw here 10 to the power of minus 2, it will be matching. So 10 to the power of minus 2, I just see where these curves are intersecting. So that means this one is approximately say 18 dB, touches x-axis, and this one is approximately touching 10 dB. So that means to achieve a SNR at kind of to achieve a SCP value of, to achieve a SCP value of 10 to the power of minus, that means SCP value is equal to 10 to the power of minus 2. Without relay, no relay case, need 18 dB, 18 dB of SNR, whereas the cooperative requires 10 dB of power. See, you see, approximately we are able to save 8 dB of power. Okay, this is the advantage of the cooperation. So the advantage of the cooperation is, it is just an illustration. We are going to see, get the similar curve in the MATLAB also. The advantage here is I am able to get 8 dB of SNR gain. So therefore, effectively the total power outcome I can reduce it. So therefore, I can say if it is a mobile devices or portable devices, I can reduce the battery. I can save the battery power. That is the advantage of this relay communication. We can look at the same performance in another way. Another way is just I have two curves, right? One is this, another one is this red. So this one is a cooperative and this one is the direct. Okay. So I just have this is 0, 5, 10, 5, 10, 15, so on. Okay, and here it is say 10 to the power of 0, 10 to the power of minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, like this. I want to operate my SNR at 15 dB only. I am rigid. My SNR, whatever may be the case, the possible SNR I can operate it is only at 15 dB. Okay, this is what I can do it. If I can operate it only at 15 dB, so this is my 15 dB. So this is going to how much? It is going to give approximately this point, and this is going to be approximately this point. At 15 dB SNR, this is signal to noise ratio. Okay, no relay case achieves a performance, SCP performance of say 10 to the power of minus 2. Okay, 10 to the power of minus 2. Whereas cooperative case achieves a SCP of say 10 to the power of minus 4. That means it is very clear that the cooperation is going to provide a better performance in terms of the simpler probability. Okay, so for a fixed SNR gain, the cooperative diversity provides 10 to the power of minus 4 SCP value, whereas the without cooperation we are able to get only 10 to the power of minus 2. That means the error is more in no relay case, and the error is very less in the case of cooperation case. So these are all the two important inferences we get it from this system. So the conclusion is the cooperation. So suppose I have the conclusion. The conclusion point is suppose I have a source, relay, destination. Instead of directly transmitting only with source to destination, if you cooperate with the relay, then the performance is going to be much better. Okay, the performance is going to be much better. Okay, so having said this, is there any drawback of this cooperative system? So whenever we get some kind of improvement, can we get? Yes, there the drawback is the data rate becomes soft. See, suppose in the source side, the total time period T, I just said no, the total time period T, I'm just dividing into two. First of time phase 1 and time phase 2. That means the source, instead of transmitting for the whole time period, it is just transmitting only half of the time period. Therefore, the data rate reduces for the source. But the advantage of this is you are getting an enhanced performance. Enhanced performance will give the enhanced reliability of communication, whereas the data rate becomes off. So this is about the cooperation. Let us go back and see the MATLAB coding whether no. I think there is some problem. Let us close this MATLAB and again try to open. Let me again open this. Just let us open the MATLAB and check. Okay, so that is the today's talk. Let us run the MATLAB code and check whether whatever we did has come or not. Yeah, this is what. Error direct. Okay. Yeah, we got it, but it's a the Y label. There is some Y label. So direct transmission cooperation. Yeah, whatever we thought, we got it. So let us see one more. Error direct. Yeah. Okay. So let us run for higher value, maybe to get a proper plot. This is itself taking time. Yes. So this is what we get it. Similar plot. Maybe if I increase iterations, we may get a better. Yeah. Yes. Finally, we got it. So this is a plot. Whatever coding we did, this is what we get it. So this red line is a cooperative diversity. This blue line is a direct communication without involving relay. You can check whatever we said, but only the values are different. For example, at 10 to the power of -3, so the cooperation requires only 21 dB, whereas this one requires only 24 dB. That means 3 dB difference. 3 dB means half of the power. So there is a 3 dB difference between the cooperative communication and the direct transmission. That means a direct transmission requires 3 dB more power than the cooperative diversity. Same thing we can illustrate here also, but the difference is very less only. If you look at it, the direct communication, it is 10 to the power of -3 this point, whereas the cooperative communication, this is approximately 0.7 into 10 to the power of -3. This is approximately 0.2 into 10 to the power of -3. So we get a minimal difference in the error because of the cooperation. So with this conclusion, let me wind up the today's discussion. I'll just share this code with you. Audience, any doubt you can ask.
Yeah, Sanjay, Ranjan, you are enabled. You can unmute and speak.
Okay, my name is Anand Ranjan, sir, and
Yes.
my few questions is regarding just you have told that cooperative communication we have get half the power in total transmission. So my question is how many number of relay nodes we can deploy to get the minimum least power for the transmissions? Is there any optimal number of count in these relay?
That okay. Good question.
Sanjay, can you please mute? Okay, sir, carry on.
Yes. No, that we need to find it out. Actually, if you put more nodes, your question is about I just deployed only one relay between the source and destination. If I deploy more number of relays, what will happen? So the more number of parallel relays is going to give the more diversity effect. Theoretically, I'm just telling you theoretically without doing any programming or anything. If I deploy more number of parallel relays, it is going to give more diversity effect. Therefore, we are going to get a benefit in terms of the SAP as well as in terms of the SNR gain. Fine. But if I deploy a multi-hop of HOP, multi-hop relaying, then it will not give the performance, because when you jump from one relay to another, the error propagation is also going to increase. When the error propagation increasing, then we will not get the good performance. So therefore, in one word, if I say the parallel relays will give the parallel diversity path, which will give the better performance. Whereas if you put the relays in a serial way, instead of parallel, if I put the relays in a serial way, then because of the multi-hop propagation, the error is also going to increase, keep on increasing, leads to more bad performance than the original no relay transmissions. Okay.
Okay, what happened if the relay deploy with the multiple antenna systems and all? In that case, can we expect more performance improvement in terms of end-to-end?
Yes. Here, the improvement can be done. Here, what I assumed is the source is having only one transmitting antenna, relay is having only one receive only one antenna, which operates in a off-duplex manner. That is what I assumed in this code. But whereas that source can have a array of antennas, the relays can have an array of antenna. The destination can have an array of antenna. So which will give a very good performance